Well, guys, I'm inside of the Maverick 6-shooter. This is where I took my first buck. This year, I did not film it because it's really hard to self-film a hunt. And on top of that, there's a whole story that goes with it. So I'm going to tell the story because it's part of the experience. It was a big step for me as a hunter, and it was an even bigger step as a father. So, sitting in that chair right there was my little daughter. She's 3 years old. And she was, for the first hour or so of the hunt, she was sound asleep. This was the first time I had hunted with her. Like I said, she's only 3, and it's a pretty chilly way to come hunting in Michigan. So it was chilly. But the thing about the Mavericks is they hold some heat in because they're just solid plastic, tubs. And they hold heat in actually fairly well. When you get your body heat going in here, it warms up a good bit. So there was nothing in front of us. I just sat here quietly. She was sound asleep, sawing logs. Well, she woke up from a bad dream. She has dreams about Red Claw from The Land Before Time. You parents out there probably know what that is. It's a kid's dinosaur movie thing. It's animated. Red Claw is this big, nasty Tyrannosaurus Rex. Well, she was telling me about her dream, how upset she was about Red Claw being in her dream. And then she cuts her explanation off, and she's like, "Daddy, I have to go to the bathroom." I'm like, "Okay, we'll take care of that." While we're in the middle of taking care of that, I was stood up, can't see anything up here because I was standing up and you're looking at nothing. I'm bent over here trying to help her, and she's like, "Daddy, there's deer over there." I'm like, "No way." So just like this, I sat back down, and she was right. There were 2 does standing literally right there, like the green spot right there. So I reach in my backpack, grab her earmuffs, and I put my earmuffs on. Mine are electronic, so I can hear what's going on. Hers are just really good, quiet earmuffs. And the does are sitting, eating through here, and they're slowly passing like this. When they're over here at this window, I see a buck come out of here. Well, my buck, my 8-point, came flying out of here. Literally nose on the does, coming like crazy. And I had already told Ellie, sit still, be quiet, Daddy's got to lower the window. And she said, "Okay, get your deer, Daddy." Well, I reached up here, I went like this, and I slowly opened up the window. And just like that, I just stuck my gun out. I was just cradling it in one hand and opened the window with my left, plugged him at about 30 yards, and that was it. Got my first buck. So, do the Mavs work? Absolutely. I didn't have any particular issue with making the kill happen. The deer were eating here with no idea we were here right in front of us. Buck had no idea we were here. I was able to lower the window. With the buck on the tail of the does, he had no interest in me. After the shot, all the does came right back out of the woods and started playing again, and even more filtered out. So, verdict, I really like the 6-shooter. You get a whole lot of room. You can absolutely shoot a bow out of one of these. No problems at all. I think it's a really nice unit for the price, ease of transport. Now here I could just bring anything I want to in the back of the truck. And these were really intended for thicker areas. But for expediency of time, I put this one here because this is a really good spot due to the topography here. We have a lowland that runs right through the middle, right there. Yeah. So, big thumbs up for the Maverick 6-shooter. It got me my first buck, and it worked awesome. It was a great memory for me as a father and as a hunter. So, big fan. I will be probably buying more of these for other places, but the amount of time I had to do things, this is what we had this year, but I will be using the same spot, but probably with a elevated blind, potentially another Mav. But this is on the ground right now, as you can see. Well, maybe you can't see. Trust me, we're on the ground right now. But then again, I really like this spot being on the ground because you can see everywhere still, and it's just sitting here. I put this here because there was a down tree. You can actually see the pieces of it right there. And when I first got the property, I hunted in the down tree. I just tucked myself right in the down tree, and I had a great time. There were deer everywhere. Had a great time hunting on the ground, out in nature. It was cold, and you had to watch your scent. The Mav definitely controls your scent a lot better. So I would say, big fan of the Mav. It got me my first buck, so that's pretty amazing. It was a great hunting season. We had a lot of fun. I got my bear, I got my buck, I got several does. We're off to the races here. So good things are happening, and the Maverick was a big part of those good things happening. So if you guys need to have a more, obviously hard-sided, it's not, this thing's been through some crazy storms, and we're about to get a rip snorting storm here. So hopefully it remains put. We've had great luck with it. I really like it. I really, really like it a lot. Windows work fine. Their design is perfectly adequate for what needs to be done. I love it. So, Alright, my video cut off, I don't know why. But what I'm getting at is, maybe I won't say 10 out of 10, because potentially there's some things that could be improved. I think that these little fasteners for the windows are a little bit on the jankier side. But they work just fine. Seriously, they do the job. If the intent is to do the job, they do the job. I just wish there was a little bit, something in double shear. I feel like over time, just the screws that are sent in plastic are going to wear. Something that was in double shear so that it was actually a little bit stronger. I mean, if you were stupid, you could rip these off. I mean, you'd be kind of violent, but it's unnecessary. But it could happen. Things happen when you're hunting. So I think that the execution of the window hardware could be a little bit better. But I think the plexiglass windows are really nice. The overall design of it is fantastic, and I'm sure that they were trying to hit the price point, which is the fasteners. So if you got to change the price point to get the fasteners, then I'll take the fasteners all day long. I'll take the price point. I'm good with these fasteners. They work just fine. I feel very very happy with my purchase. So if you want more information on product reviews or anything like that relating to hunting or tools or what have you, please remember to subscribe. I try and cover as much as I can. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that kind of stuff. Take care of yourselves.